Welcome, dear friends, to another study of the book Courage by several spirit authors through the mediumship of Francisco Cândido Xavier. What a blessing to be with you today with yet another chapter. Today's chapter is by the spirit Albino Teixeira, and it's titled by him Spiritist Note. So let's see what Albino Teixeira has to bring to our attention this morning. He says, quote, "Very often you have said that you lack financial resources, and because of this, you're not able to help others. Such ingratitude before life's generosity. You have said that you lack the means to alleviate a sick person. However, your hands can treat his or her wounds. You have affirmed that you do not have enough financial resources to support a friend who is in treatment with mental problems. However, with your eyes and ears, you can transform all evil that you hear or see into values of goodness, thus immunizing many against madness. You have said that it's beyond your means to grant a friend's education at school. However, you possess the speech as an instrument of light, which is capable of removing ignorance and darkness. You have mentioned that you're not able to remunerate a proper worker to help you to deal with the soil. However, you can plow the fields, thus assuring harvest. An intelligent work is a privilege that life has entrusted to you. Angelic spirits are really God's ministers who act in heaven, doing wonders and fulfilling glorious tasks. However, do not forget, in comparison to them, despite your faults and imperfections, that if you wish, you can do much more in aid of your brothers and sisters on earth. Unquote, Albino Teixeira. So, dear friends, are we not familiar with the speech that he is giving to us? How many of us will say, well, I don't have the resources, I don't have the time, I can't help. Yet, Albino Teixeira, is listing to us many ways we can help that are not of a financial characteristics. So he says, you have your hands to help someone who is sick. We can treat the wounds, we can feed, we can do the work for those who are ill, right? And he says, then you have your eyes and your ears to transform the evil that we see into or hear into values of goodness. That's an important, very important topic. Today we have so many tools to interact, to spread the good news. And one of the things we can do is if when we see or hear evil, when we see misinformation, defamation, gossip, we can prevent ourselves, we can stop ourselves from spreading it. We can report the content, right? If it's something criminal, we deal with the authorities. Also, when we hear something evil, it's just like, you're going to ask me, Shane, but I don't hear evil. Well, it's not that someone may come to you and completely say something evil, but it's the insidious. Have you heard what happened to so and so? Or in the office, there's the gossip, water cooler gossip. We're constantly watching each other, right? So that's evil. When we're not being productive with our ears, with our hands, with our eyes, we're not fulfilling God's laws as listed on the Spirit's book, part 3. In the same part 3 of the Spirit's book, we have a law of love, justice, and charity. And in that part of the book, the spirits will remind us the same things. Charity is not just giving alms and money. Charity is sometimes being silent, preventing a comment from spreading, is being silent where I don't repeat things that may or may not be completely true. It can be looking for the good, as Emmanuel says in the book Foreign Life, chapter 10, seeking the good, molding the good, right? What else does he mention? He says speech, right? We can have a speech. He says, as an instrument of light. So instead of bringing discord, we can bring comfort, consolation, understanding, thus removing ignorance and darkness. And it's all about the excuses he has mentioned here is something that we do, right? We say we lack financial resources to help others. He says we don't have means to alleviate the sick, and he says use your hands. You don't have enough financial resources to help someone going through mental illness. He says use your eyes and ears. We don't have the means to grant someone's educational journey. Education is very expensive. Um, Raising the new generation is expensive. He says you can use your speech to encourage, to calm folks. It says you have mentioned you're not able to remunerate a proper worker to help with the soil in case of someone who has land to produce food. It says you can plow the fields. An intelligent work is a privilege that life has entrusted to us. So if you and I today are listening to this and we have the capability of using this intelligence of ours, the knowledge we've acquired, the intelligence, which is truly the application of the divine laws in our lives, that's a privilege. And if we don't make use of the talents, we don't know if in another life we'll return to this earth or a different planet with the ability to have this privilege. We have many on the earth who are unable to use those resources, to access those resources. And it's either because they've misused those, it's a possible explanation. There are millions of explanations. But based on the books of Andrea Luisa, we see one explanation could be misuse of that speech, that intelligence, and then in this lifetime, the process we see in the book Evolution in Two Worlds, the process of the mental anguish and guilt damages the spiritual body, that then when in touch with a new physical body for reincarnation, that area is unable to fully develop to be neurotypical as we understand. And then you have to expiate that wrong. And perhaps that's the experience we have for the evolution, for the growth in this lifetime. And many who can't communicate and do the things that we do also help us as a society to see that it's important to be inclusive, to help others develop their abilities, regardless of their physical, emotional, and intellectual capabilities, right? Now he mentions at the end angelic spirits. Of course, that's not you and I. Let's be frank. It is the world of trials and expiation. The majority of us are still in the category of imperfect spirits, as described by Kardec in the Spirit's book. Essays 100 all the way to questions 113, 114. So who are angelic spirits? Are spirits of the Christ level, because they are God's ministers who act in heaven, right? In the happy worlds, in the sublime worlds, as described in the Gospel according to Spiritism, doing wonders and fulfilling glorious tasks. Those are the spirits who live currently on the sun, for example, and their thought process produces the plasma and the molecules, the particles that reach us, and the light that sustain life in our planet, as we know, and that sustains life in the other planets as well, right? Because we know there's life elsewhere in the universe, in our solar system, it just doesn't look and feel the same way as in our world. And he says, however, do not forget that in comparison to them, to the angelic spirits, despite your faults and imperfections, that's us. If you wish, do we wish? You can do much more in aid of our brothers and sisters on the earth. So, what is the teaching here for this message that is titled Spiritist Note? The teaching is yes, you can. Yes, you can help. You can be kind. You can use your hands to help. You can use your eyes, your ears, the intelligence you possess. You can help someone fulfill. You can use your speech to help someone fulfill their reincarnatory plan in this world by bringing light everywhere you go. So, charity is not just about alms, it's about knowing, because we already know the laws of our conscience, studying the gospel, which is the true way God granted us Jesus to teach us how it is to be human on this earth. And then there's the challenges of daily life. That's where the tests come. That's where we apply. At this level where we are, we already know. And we have to be mindful and watchful so that we can apply the teachings to our daily lives. Is it easy? No. If it was easy, we were already done. We would not need many several spirits in 50 different messages to remind us. Well, that's why it's so important that we are here today to study, to learn. We have to have the foundation of Kardec's work to understand. And we build upon these teachings with the messages from such good spirits as Albino Teixeira is so benevolent, so giving, so generous to us, breaking it down to remind us to always, always serve. Serving, loving, spreading consolation. That's what we are here for. That's actually the motto of the Spirit Society of Richmond, where I am today, but should be our motto always, right? The laws of love. Love is this glue that keeps all the universe together, all of us together, and we love through service. Dear friends, let's hope for another week of many opportunities of service so that in 1 week, God willing, we can return with more and more studies from the book Courage by several spirit authors. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be with you. God willing, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.